Today we're going to be testing Google AI Studio's generate media, generate speech functions. So we're going to generate a single speaker audio podcast sort of essay style transcription on how to use AI and how to organize your notes. So we're just going to look at Google AI Studio, aistudio.google.com. If you go to generate media and click on Gemini speech generation, you can do multi-speaker audio, single speaker audio. You can have voice settings, choosing your voice.
Got a project in mind?
Ready to build something awesome today?
We're going to go with Zephyr. The essay is already written, so we're just going to see how it looks once the essay is pasted in, and we're going to see the audio outcome of this, and the second half of this video will be the actual video that I make that goes with this. So we're submitting the script and we're going to let it process for a while. While we're waiting for the audio to develop, we're going to use Gemini to create a HTML presentation that could accompany this voice script. So I created a prompt that asks it to create an HTML presentation. So let's walk through that prompt. You're an expert front-end developer and presentation designer. Create a modern minimalist HTML plus Tailwind CSS slide presentation for a spoken word essay titled The Philosophy Behind Building with AI. So it has the design goals. We're going to put the entire essay into here. Output requirements, output an HTML file, use Tailwind via CDN, inline JavaScript, optional autoplay feature, and we're going to see what happens there. So we've got both of these generating at the same time. Let's see what this outputs. It should be outputting it in a canvas, I hope. I probably should have clicked canvas, but this audio production has been taking about 2 minutes. Let's see how long it takes. All right, the audio generation took about 5 minutes. It gave me a 9-minute long. It's about right for a 1,500 word essay.
There's a theory I've been testing that almost every app, book, or system you think you need already exists inside you, scattered across your notes, your habits, your late-night thoughts, your unfinished project.
That's the Zephyr voice. Pretty much what I expected. Now we're going to try to put it into a video. I have Gemini over here creating a synced slide HTML format that will hopefully be able to play audio alongside the slides that it has developed. Let's see what happens. All right, the slides are prepared, and they're Gemini told me to convert the audio file to an MP3 file and put it in the same folder as the HTML. So right now I have the slides, the HTML slides, and the audio file, and let's see how it works. If it works, I'm just going to play it through and you can listen to the whole thing.
There's a theory I've been testing that almost every app, book, or system you think you need already exists inside you, scattered across your notes, your habits, your late-night thoughts, your unfinished projects. AI just makes it visible. For most of my adult life, I was a consumer of tools.
Right,
if I wanted to be inspired, I'd buy a new book.
So the syncing is off. It's not synced. So we're going to try reprompting this. Hold on. All right, there was some synchronization problem with the previous file, so I've uploaded the MP3 file to Gemini and asked it to resynchronize, and it says it's going to be perfectly timed slides with the audio file that I just uploaded with durations adjusted. So in just a moment, let's see if it's synchronized and see how this presentation style looks. And now is the moment of truth.
There's a theory I've been testing that almost every app, book, or system you think you need already exists inside you, scattered across your notes, your habits, your late night thoughts, your unfinished projects. AI just makes it visible. For most of my adult life, I was a consumer of tools. If I wanted to be productive, I'd buy a new app. If I wanted to be inspired, I'd buy a new book.
All right, so the synchronization is not exactly timed right. So let's try this with a new Gemini chat and see if it can do that.
There's a theory I've been testing that almost every app, book, or system you think you need already exists inside you, scattered across your notes, your habits, your late night thoughts, your unfinished projects. AI just makes it visible. For most of my adult life, I was a consumer of tools. If I wanted to be productive, I'd buy a new app. If I wanted to be inspired, I'd buy a new book. If I felt lost, I'd buy someone else's roadmap. And for a while, that worked, until one day I realized I wasn't really building a life, I was assembling other people's systems. When AI tools like Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude matured enough to actually understand me, everything changed. Because suddenly, I could stop buying systems and start building them. When I started Lexicon Labs, I thought I was making videos about technology. But somewhere along the way, I realized the builds weren't about apps. They were about me. Every time I built something, a journaling dashboard, a writing tracker, a habit system, I was trying to externalize a part of my own brain, to give structure to something messy, abstract, human. And that process became a form of therapy. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was writing my own textbook, one app, one idea, one automation at a time. And when I say textbook, I don't mean code. I mean a philosophy of living. Each project became a lesson. What does this friction reveal about me? Why do I resist this task? Why do I keep designing systems that assume I'll be better tomorrow instead of meeting myself where I am today? AI didn't give me answers, it gave me mirrors. For the last 100 years, human progress has been mediated through experts, authors, CEOs, coaches, and developers who translate experience into packaged wisdom. That era is ending. Not because expertise doesn't matter, but because the delivery mechanism is obsolete. When you can talk to an intelligence that has read every self-help book ever written, you stop needing the book. You just need context. The true bottleneck isn't knowledge, it's personalization. And that's what AI quietly solved. Now, instead of reading 10 productivity books, I can upload my own journals and have AI tell me how I work best. Instead of downloading 10 meditation apps, I can build one that fits the rhythm of my own mornings. Instead of buying another writing course, I can teach myself through reflection, generation, and iteration. You could say we're entering the post-consumer phase of self-improvement, where the product is your own consciousness, iterated in real time. Every creative tool, from Google Sheets to Gemini to Claude, is really a form of architecture software for the self. You don't just design systems with AI, you design the mind that uses them. When you build your own journaling app, you're defining what counts as reflection. When you create a writing assistant, you're encoding your relationship to perfectionism. When you automate your tasks, you're formalizing your definition of effort. And the crazy part? Each line of code, each prompt, each AI-generated paragraph becomes a form of autobiography. We used to write diaries. Now we build dashboards. The medium changed, but the impulse didn't. We're still trying to understand ourselves. We've just replaced ink and paper with APIs and prompts. It's not rebellion against commerce, it's realism. Every time I've bought an app, it came with someone else's assumptions. Every book came with someone else's framework. Every productivity system carried the ghost of someone else's anxiety. When I build my own, I'm forced to confront my own. That's what makes it uncomfortable and powerful. AI doesn't just hand you a tool, it forces you to articulate yourself. What problem am I actually solving? What emotion am I trying to regulate? What story am I telling about who I should be? That's not software development. That's self-development disguised as code. In the beginning, my builds were utilitarian, a better task tracker, a cleaner writing interface, a prettier dashboard. But lately, I realize they're becoming more like art projects. Because each app I make is a small philosophy, a reflection of how I think life should work. A Chrome extension about attention isn't just code, it's a statement about focus. A journaling app isn't about productivity, it's about presence. A self-help book written through AI isn't about efficiency, it's about intimacy. Once you start seeing your tools as mirrors, everything becomes creative work. You're not chasing features anymore. You're chasing clarity. People worry that automation makes us lazy, but the truth is, automation makes us intentional. Because when you can automate almost anything, the question changes from, how do I do more, to what's actually worth doing manually? AI gives you leverage, but leverage demands clarity. It forces you to define your values, or the system will define them for you. That's why building with AI isn't just technical, it's moral. Every automation is a tiny philosophical choice about what matters. If you zoom out far enough, every productivity guru, philosopher, and stoic was trying to do the same thing: build a curriculum for the self. Now, for the first time in history, that curriculum can be personalized, not downloaded, discovered, not prescribed, evolved. AI is just the medium. The real revolution is epistemological. You are now both the researcher and the subject. Your data becomes dialogue. Your reflection becomes raw material. And your apps become living frameworks for growth. This isn't about building an empire of tools, it's about building an ecosystem of meaning. Everything I've built under Lexicon Labs has been an experiment in self-authorship. The apps, the videos, the systems, they're not products. They're prototypes for living differently. And if there's one idea that ties them all together, it's this: AI isn't here to replace human creativity. It's here to reflect it, to make it tangible, to translate the subconscious into structure. That's why I don't buy apps or books anymore, because the most valuable guidance I need is already written in the patterns of my own behavior, in the contradictions in my own writing, and in the architecture of my own curiosity. AI just helps me read it. In a world drowning in ready-made answers, building your own tools isn't a technical act. It's an act of reclaiming authorship. When you create your own systems, you stop outsourcing your agency. When you design your own interfaces, you stop renting your reality. And when you build with AI, not to impress, but to understand, you start participating in your own evolution. The next generation of creators won't be the ones with the best ideas, they'll be the ones with the clearest mirrors. So build your own, write your own, code your own. Because the next great operating system isn't on your computer. It's you.